Let us consider the projection of planes. So in this we are going to be studying it as a rectangular plane at the first case. So here in this rectangular plane, see now the surface parallel to HP. Here the pictorial representation means we are going to be considering it as a first quadrant. This is a vertical plane and this is a horizontal plane. So here we are going to be keeping it as the plane which is parallel to the horizontal plane. Here we are going to be considering the surface is inclined to the HP. So in this case we are going to be studying it as a third one. So one small side of the plane is inclined to vertical plane. So these three steps we are going to be studying in this one. So here in the first case we are going to be taken it as a parallel to the horizontal plane, means all these corners are at the same distance from the horizontal reference plane. So while you are going to be observing this plane, so you are going to be getting it as a top view from this direction, front view from this direction. Let us you consider the second one is the plane is inclined to the horizontal reference plane. So means this same plane we are going to be shifted a little bit with the angle with the horizontal. This angle we are going to be considering it. So in the next case we are going to be taken it as plane is making on certain degrees of angle with a vertical plane. So here just you are going to be observing it as a certain degrees of angle with the vertical planes. So means parallel, inclined HP, inclined with VP. These three cases we are going to be considering as far as this problem is concerned. So the representation we are going to be making this a front view, you are going to be observing in this direction. That time we are going to be observing this rectangle. So based on that one we are going to be observing this as a front view, and here we are going to be getting it as a view representation as a straight line. The red color line is representing it as a, the plane is looking as a straight line because the thickness of the plane is negligible. So it is a two-dimensional figure. We are going to be getting it as a single line. As it is, we are going to be observing in the front view. Similarly, we are going to be observing from the top view. This one you are represented as a front view. So when you are observing from the top view, we are going to be getting it as a exactly the same shape as it is available here. So this is nothing but a true shape because it is a parallel to the horizontal reference plane. So means we are going to be getting in the top view as a true shape. So here we are going to be representing it as a top view of the figure. The next case we are going it as a inclined to the horizontal plane. So here we are going to be observing in the front view, and the same line whatever it is representing here as a straight line which is parallel to the reference line. The same line is going to be making it as a certain degrees of angle with the horizontal plane. So now you can observe it as a front view. We are going to be getting it as an inclined line. So making a certain degrees of angle with the horizontal plane. So this is front view you are going to be representing. Similarly, if we observe from the top view you are going to be getting it as the size of the rectangle is less than what actual the size is there here. When it is parallel, you are going to be getting it as a true shape of the plane. So while you are observing as a inclined plane, you are going to be getting as a reduced dimension. This dimension is less than actual dimension, and this we are going to be representing it as a top view of the figure. So next we are going with the inclined to the vertical plane. Just you can observe here in this case one small side inclined to vertical plane. The pictorial representation means this is the first quadrant. We are going to be representing in the first quadrant. This is a plane, rectangle plane is making a certain degrees of angle with the vertical plane. So now we are going to be observing the inclined plane is making certain degrees of angle with the VP. That is the reason we are going to be getting this as a rectangle is looking in this way. The red color line is representing here as a, it is looking the rectangle in this shape. Okay, and similarly you are going with a top view. So while you are observing the top view, you are going to be getting it as a figure is of this nature. Okay, these all this particularly are going to be representing it as a top view of the figure. So now the representation of this one in the XY plane. So here the representation of the first figure we are going to be representing it in this way, as this is we are going to be representing as a orthographic view. We are going to be representing as a top view and front view with the reference of XY line. So here we have taken this as a straight line. So this is representing it as a front view of the rectangular figure, and this rectangle is exactly the same size of this one, which is parallel to the horizontal reference plane. Just you can observe this line is parallel to the horizontal reference plane, and this is representing it as a XY line. Okay, this is a representation of the pictorial view into an orthographic view. Similarly, we are going for the next figure. which is having a certain degrees of angle with the horizontal reference plane. So now the representation of this one, we are going to be representing it as a orthographic view. So here representation of this diagram, this line is making a certain degrees of angle with the horizontal. This line is representing it as a horizontal line. Whatever this horizontal line is nothing but a horizontal plane only we are going to be considering and making a certain degrees of angle with the horizontal reference plane. The representation of this rectangle in the top view is represented in this figure. So here this one and this one figure, if you are going to be comparing, this is the true shape which is represented as a top view as a true shape and front view as a line. So here front view as a line making an angle of certain degrees with the HP, while the top view is representing it as a reduced dimension because it is inclined. We are going to be getting it as a reduced dimension. So while you are going for the next one, it is making an angle of certain degree with the VPs. So just you can observe it how exactly the diagram looks in the orthographic view. This is an inclined representation. Similarly, we are going to be representing in the front view as well as top view. The actual drawing of this one, we are going to be getting it in the next step of the actual problems are concerned. While it is making an angle of certain degrees with HP and certain degrees with VP, means theta degree angle with the HP and phi degree angle with the VP. That representation we are going with the next problems are concerned. So this total representation of the diagrams, here it is a pictorial view while it is parallel, pictorial view while it is making an angle of certain degrees with the HP, and this is a pictorial view while it is making an angle with the vertical plane. Okay, this representation of orthographic view of the first figure, second figure and third figure.